Cameras are one of the greatest technological inventions. With cameras, people have been able to capture such bizarre incidents that no one would believe them without evidence. Here is a list of 6 such photos. These are eerie and shocking images that captured the unimaginable. Imagine seeing a photograph of yourself, but right next to you is the ghostly figure of a loved one long gone. That's exactly what William H. Mumler offered in the 1860s. He claimed his camera could capture spirits from beyond the grave, and during a time of widespread grief, people believed him. The Civil War had devastated families across America, so many lives were lost. Grieving loved ones were desperate for any connection to those they had lost. Spiritualism, the belief that the dead could communicate with the living, was gaining popularity. When Mumler introduced spirit photography, it became the latest way to reach the other side. Mumler was no professional photographer. He worked as a jewelry engraver in Boston and dabbled in photography as a hobby. One day, he snapped a self-portrait and discovered something strange in the developed image. Beside him stood a pale, ghostly figure. Mumler claimed it was the spirit of a cousin who had passed away. Word spread quickly. People flocked to his studio, desperate to see their lost loved ones appear in photos. For a hefty fee, Mumler promised to capture not just a portrait, but a reunion. The photos often showed faint, transparent figures standing behind or beside the living subjects. These were said to be their spirit companions. But not everyone was convinced, believed Mumler. Skeptics called him a fraud, accusing him of using double exposures or other tricks to plant ghostly images. Still, he gained fame. One of his most famous clients was Mary Todd Lincoln, who sat for a photograph after her husband's assassination. In the eerie image, the transparent form of Abraham Lincoln seemed to stand behind her, resting a ghostly hand on her shoulder. However, he was arrested for fraud in 1869. He stood trial and witnesses testified both for and against him. But despite the accusations, no one could prove how he did it. Mumler walked free. Next, we have one of the most famous ghost photos ever taken, the chilling image of the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall. This picture, captured in 1936, has terrified countless people over the years, and even scientists haven't been able to fully explain it. The story goes like this. 2 photographers, Captain Hubert C. Provand and Indri Shira, were at Raynham Hall in Norfolk, England, taking photos for Country Life magazine. Everything seemed normal as they sat up to photograph the grand staircase, but suddenly they both saw something shocking, a ghostly figure descending the stairs. Shira immediately told Provand to take the picture, and when they developed the photo, what they saw was enough to send chills down anyone's spine. The image shows a misty, translucent figure coming down the staircase. Many believe this to be the ghost of Lady Dorothy Walpole, also known as the Brown Lady. She lived at Raynham Hall in the 1700s and was said to have been locked away in the house by her husband after accusations of infidelity. She died there under mysterious circumstances, and ever since, people claim to have seen her spirit roaming the hall. If you're thinking of a plot for your next thriller book or movie, pay close attention. This story has mystery, secret codes, and an unknown man whose identity puzzled the world for decades. It's called the Somerton Man case, and it all started on a quiet beach in South Australia. On December 1, 1948, a well-dressed man was found dead on Somerton Beach near Adelaide. He was propped up against a seawall, legs crossed, as if peacefully asleep. No signs of struggle, no obvious cause of death, but things quickly got strange. The man had no ID, and all the labels were cut from his clothes. In his pockets, police found a train ticket, a comb, gum, and cigarettes, but no wallet, no name, and no clue who he was. Then came the biggest mystery, a hidden scrap of paper in his trousers. It read Tamam Shud, meaning finished or the end in Persian. The paper was traced to a rare book, the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. A copy of the book was found nearby with strange coded messages written inside. The book also contained a phone number that led police to a woman named Jessica Thompson. Jessica denied knowing the man, though some believe she was hiding something. Her reaction when shown the man's picture was described as shocked and nervous. Despite countless investigations and worldwide interest, no one could crack the code or identify the man. Theories ranged from spy missions to tragic love stories. Then, in 2022, DNA experts identified him as Carl Webb, an engineer from Melbourne. But why he was on that beach, how he died, and what the coded messages meant remain unsolved mysteries. The Somerton Man case is more than a strange death. It's a tale of secrets, lost identities, and unanswered questions, and it still captivates curious minds today. In 1963, Reverend K.F. Lord decided to capture the inside of Newby Church, located in North Yorkshire, England. The Reverend was simply photographing the church's interior, hoping to document its peaceful beauty. At first, the photo seemed perfectly normal, but when developed, something unsettling appeared. Standing near the altar was a tall, shadowy figure dressed in a hooded robe. Its face looked ghastly, pale and skeletal with empty black eyes. The figure stood about 9 feet tall, towering over the peaceful scene. This strange figure quickly became known as the Spectre of Newby Church. Many believe it to be a monk or priest from centuries past, though no specific story links any ghost to the church. The figure's translucent appearance added to its eerie nature. Paranormal enthusiasts hailed it as proof of spirits, while skeptics claimed it was a clever hoax or a photographic error. Reverend Lord insisted the photo was genuine. He claimed no one was present when he took the picture and that he had no reason to fake it. Experts examined the photograph for signs of tampering but found none. Double exposure, which could create ghostly images, was ruled out by some analysts, though not everyone was convinced. Despite numerous investigations, no one has been able to explain the figure or how it appeared in the photo. The Newby Church image remains one of the most debated ghost photos ever taken. In the summer of 1975, Diane Berthelot, along with her husband and son, spent their annual holiday in North Norfolk. On a particularly hot August day, the family sought refuge from the heat by visiting the historic Worsted Church. Diane, who had been struggling with health issues, found a quiet pew near the front to rest and offer a prayer for recovery. Meanwhile, her husband wandered the church, taking in its beauty and snapping a few photographs. The family believed they were alone in the peaceful church that afternoon. It wasn't until they returned home from their holiday and reviewed the photographs that they noticed something unsettling. In one image, taken inside the church, a mysterious figure appeared seated behind Diane. The figure was dressed in old-fashioned clothing, seemingly made from the traditional worsted cloth the village is famous for, and wore a bonnet. Bathed in a radiant white glow, the figure bore an unearthly presence. Perplexed by the sight, the Berthelot family returned to Worsted Church the following summer to seek answers. They showed the photograph to the local vicar, who listened carefully and then shared the legend of the White Lady. According to local lore, she was a compassionate spirit believed to offer comfort and healing to those in need. It was then that Diane realized something remarkable. Her lingering health condition had noticeably improved since their mysterious encounter. The photo, a lasting reminder of their encounter with the unknown, is now displayed at the White Lady pub. Odd occurrences have been reported there ever since. Lights turning on by themselves, glasses mysteriously moving, and even patrons feeling a gentle touch in the cellar. Yet, these happenings aren't frightening. Instead, they carry a sense of comfort, as if the White Lady's healing spirit has found a new home. The St. Augustine Lighthouse stands tall along the Florida coast, guiding ships since 1874. It's one of the oldest lighthouses in America. Its black and white spiral design and red top make it a striking landmark, but what was supposed to be a benefit to public transportation and safety soon turned to tragedy. Superintendent of lighthouse construction, Hezekiah Pitti, moved from Cape Elizabeth, Maine with his family to oversee the construction of the new St. Augustine Lighthouse. Hezekiah lived on site with his wife Mary and their children, Mary Adelaide, Eliza, Edward, and Carrie. Just as any child would do, the Pitti children turned the construction site into a playground, inviting the children of the workers into their fun. The workers had built a small rail cart system to carry supplies between the lighthouse and the bay. One summer afternoon, Pitti's daughters, Eliza and Mary, along with a friend, decided to ride the supply cart like a makeshift roller coaster. But disaster struck. The cart came loose and sped down the tracks, crashing into the water-filled trench below. Trapped under the cart, the three girls drowned. Their tragic deaths left a dark shadow over the lighthouse. In the 145 years since the accident, strange occurrences have been repeatedly attributed to the spirits of the girls. Visitors and staff claim to hear children's laughter echoing through the tower, even when no one else is around. The sound of running footsteps can be heard on the stairs, but no one is there. Some have seen shadowy figures peeking from the top of the tower, vanishing as soon as they're spotted. One staff member reported hearing a girl's voice calling for help late at night. When he rushed to investigate, he found nothing but empty hallways. Another guest described seeing a young girl in period clothing standing near the staircase. She disappeared right before their eyes. That's all for today. Which one of these photos shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments below. As always, thank you for watching.